Keep living the adventure. Axis of Awesome.
Incoming transmission.
What is up, adventurers? Welcome to another Sunday in the shop. It is chilly right now. It is 3 degrees outside. It feels like -10, which is a hot summer day for Murray, Corrigan up there in Canada. But I decided today, with all the snow that we've had the last few days, to do a Sunday in the shop because it's all cozy here at the Sheer HQ. So what's been going on, guys? We've had a lot of stuff I have been working on. This morning, I got up. We got, I think, around 6 inches of snow last night or yesterday during the day. So I got up this morning and went outside and shoveled all of our walks in my driveway, and then did the 2 walks adjacent to my house so the kids don't have to walk in all the snow. So I did that this morning, and I also took the time to work on my latest photo story, which I think is going to be really, really great. I had a bunch of my stuff I have been working on for probably the last month or so. I've got all my Arctic gear out. I've had this photo story planned for about a year now. So I started going out in the snow every so often and taking shots. You guys have probably seen me post to the various sites of all the stuff that I've been taking pictures of. But it's going to be a really good photo story. So today I went out and did a bunch of photos. Actually, it was so cold this morning. I think it was 0 this morning when I was shoveling the walks, and I started taking pictures, and my camera got too cold, so the battery shut down. So I had to come back inside and warm it up so I could finish taking some photos. But yesterday I posted a really cool image of that Sean Huckster weather tracker. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. There we go. I love this thing. I had this going yesterday in the snow while it was going, or there was out there snow, and I was taking some pictures for this photo story. But it's going to be really good. I'm not going to tell you what the name of it is. It's going to be for 2026. I don't know if it's going to be like Q1 of 2026 or Q4. So I'm not really sure. But I've done all the snow photos. I think I have one more to do. I have a night shot that I've got to do, or a set of night photos. Maybe I might do those tonight, depending on how cold it is. But that is what's going on right now in the shop, or I guess in the photo story world. Another crazy thing. So you guys have seen me post my Pantheon of Awesome at my desk at work. Well, unfortunately, my boss, or my boss's boss, sent us an email, I don't know, probably a month ago, letting us know that our whole bureau is going to be remodeled. So it's going to be repainted, brand new carpet, and a bunch of other crap. So I have to take all my toys home. So here is all my Star Wars toys, all my action figures, down in my bar with all my bottles of whiskey I don't drink anymore, but they're just all sitting there for show. And my son has been spending a lot of time down here in the basement taking a look at all these and wondering why these aren't his collection. So I'm sure he's gonna commandeer some of those. So yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I had to take home several boxes of stuff, and I hate to do that because you never know if something's going to get broken or what. But yeah, that was a pain in the butt. I finally got the last box of toys on Friday or Thursday. So I've just kind of been taking them all out and displaying them so they're not all laying on top of each other. As far as I know, nothing's broken, which is a positive. So it's going to be a pain in the ass, but I'll put them all back and probably leave some of them at home. And we'll see. I'm not really sure how I'm going to situate it all moving forward. What I am going to do is, you see these cool paintings. I know that the video that I posted of those Matt Pike artwork didn't get hardly any views, but this is one of the best things I've done all year. So happy with these. You can't really see them that well, but they're going to go in my office at work when everything gets redone and repainted. So I will bring those out there and put them on my wall so everybody I work with can kind of enjoy those as well. It just meant so much to me to work with a cool dude like that. You know, he's one of the coolest guys around, and I'm really, really happy. Hopefully next year we can do something as well, and maybe share another video with you guys. I'd love to get him on a live stream sometime. I probably could if I asked him, but he's cool. I don't know if you guys if you even know who Matt Pike is, but he has some good videos on YouTube. You know, he's a really cool guy, but I was really happy with the way those all turned out. And I was really happy to share those with you guys. So right now, as it goes, I'm also got a new photo story dropping at the end of the month. I think I've kind of mentioned that. The Trader. It's going to be super cool. So basically, as you guys saw the intro to this, I had all my photo stories that I've done this year kind of ran together there. The Trader basically was an idea. It's like a concept I had at the early part of the early part of this year, back in January or so, when I started working on what I was going to do for 2025. I decided to do these things called super shorts. So it started with Columbia, then I did Kozak's revolvers. And then, of course, those kind of ran into the Sorcerer of Atlantis, which was our big Curse of the Golden Skull anthology event. And then I had Crosshairs. But basically, I wanted to do these little small stories that kind of all tied together. And then at the end of the year, I was going to put them all together and then do I also was in there X Weapons. I don't know if I put that in the intro, but I wanted to do a series of short stories at the end of the year, put them all together with also added footage that I did throughout the year as well, to make one giant, long, cool photo story. So I'm really, really excited to share that with you guys. It's going to be Christmas Day. Thanks, Murray. It's going to be Christmas Day at 7 p.m. So it's about 33 minutes long. It's going to be a long one, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy the way it all turned out and the way it all like kind of works together. So I'm super happy about sharing the Trader with you guys because it was a really fun one. Like I said, it's something I thought about last year when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as far as photo stories were concerned. And I wanted to try something new, just like have everything kind of work together, like I said, for the whole year. This coming year, I've got a lot of photo stories planned. Of course, we've got Hunters of the Unknown, which is going to be our new anthology story. Adam and I from Jet Chronicles are going to be doing a brand new collaboration. You know, we did not do one last year because Adam was finishing his Airbnb out there in Arizona. And this year we decided to get back together and get a new crossover event. So it's going to be really cool. We've already talked about what we're going to do. I'm going to go first this time around, and hopefully we can get a live stream and talk about that after maybe the first of the year. Speaking of live streams, I meant to do an Axis of Awesome live stream last week. I wanted to get all the guys on there, but there was a lot going on here. First off, December's a real pain in the butt for me, especially as my son gets older. We've got Christmas programs. I've got other things I've got scheduled in December to do. So we had snow last week, and apparently everybody in my town has forgot how to function in snow. So they canceled a bunch of events, which when you can't, as you guys know out there, when you cancel something, they usually reschedule it. And then if you got something scheduled on the day they've rescheduled it, you got to cancel what you've got going on. And basically, it's just these last 3 weeks have been just a complete mess. I've got people to come clean my chimney. I've got people to come service my furnace, stuff that I do every year. They're supposed to come on certain days, but now I had to reschedule those guys because I've got other shit going on because people canceled other things. So um, that's kind of really cut into what I wanted to do in December, which is okay because this stuff's more important than a live stream. But I really wanted to get with those guys last week. Maybe we'll try to reschedule something after the first of the year, and that would probably be better. Maybe to start off the new year that way. My wife's also not been feeling very well lately, so we've kind of had to just really just kind of weather the storm here in the last few weeks. But everything seems to be getting better, and hopefully we can get everything smooth sailing by Christmas. That is my main goal. So as far as live streams go, this will probably, I would imagine, be the last or second to last live stream of the year. I might do a New Year's one and try to invite some guests on, maybe like a round table get together, but we'll see. I don't really know yet. We will just have to cross that bridge when we get to it. Speaking of Christmas, I hope you guys enjoyed the video that I did of the Christmas display that I made for my my hometown, the town I live in, I guess, which is my hometown, the Twin Lakes. So we have a lake called Twin Lakes, and they have a park out there, and they have a big Christmas light display every year. You can drive through the whole park, and everybody puts a display out there, whether it's handmade stuff like mine or goofy inflatables or whatever. People, there's a guy I think in town who does like welding and welds up wire ornaments and creations, and people coat those with lights and make different sculptures and whatnot. You guys have probably seen stuff like that. But this is my project for the year that I wanted to get done, and I did it. Got it done really quick, and these turned out absolutely awesome. I was super happy with the way they turned out. The first night that it opened was the night before Thanksgiving, and I put some solar power lights out there. And unfortunately, we had a bunch of rain the 2 days prior, so my solar power lights didn't really charge very well. So my stuff was not lit up that night, which really pissed me off. So I went and bought some outdoor lights, and I plugged them in, and then fixed my display. Now it looks great. Hopefully, I can maybe post a video of what it looks like with all this snow here in the next couple of days, because it looks really cool. But I really enjoyed doing this project, and moving forward, I think I will probably do a project every year and maybe add to this. I've already got a Christmas tree planned and a snowman, and maybe a few more things. But this is one of the coolest things I've done in a while. Like I said, I got these from my mom bought these at an auction, and I'm assuming they're from the 1960s or so. They were like silhouettes, paper silhouettes that were put on plywood and cut out, and I just duplicated them, and I was just super happy with the way these turned out. I mean, every time I start a project, I'm always trying to do, I'm trying to do it the best I can in the amount of time that I'm given, and I don't think I could have done a better job on these. But yeah, I'm glad everybody liked it. The video seemed to be pretty popular, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Unfortunately, as we move on, I don't know if you guys have seen the video I did of restoring these 5 hamburger elf display figurines. So a little backstory on these. Back in the 1960s, there's a company in New York called Hamburger that made department store displays. They made Halloween stuff, Easter stuff, and they made these Christmas displays. They made several different versions of them. But this law firm in town here, the founder of it bought these elves from Hamburger, and he's been displaying these since the early 60s in our town. It's a big thing in our town. So over the years, as the law office's owners changed, these elves, they didn't really maintain them very well, and they're made of a latex, so they kind of started to deteriorate. And one by one, the elves started to kind of fall apart. And unfortunately, nobody really knew how to fix them. So my mom's I'm sorry, not my mom, my wife's mom was a legal clerk there for a while, and I approached her about talking to the owners about doing these elves, and she said, "Well, you can talk to him." She gave me their number, but I did a handwritten letter to the lawyer, and he said, "Yeah, you can come in and try it." A lot of people have tried to fix them, but they said they can't be fixed. So, long story short, I fixed the very first one, which is the painting elf there, the very far end of the green hat, and I decided to fix the rest of them after he saw what I could do with this one, and I fixed all of them. And the elf that saws, he didn't even have a motor in it. So yeah, Marie, I actually we'll talk about handwritten notes here in a second. Um, so yeah, I did a handwritten note. So I ended up spending the whole summer redoing all these elves. I got them all back to working condition. My mom actually sewed all new clothes for the elves, and I ended up buying a brand new motor for the sawing elf because he didn't have a motor. So I found a guy who had the actual reproduction motors. It was $300. So we invested all this time and effort into restoring these elves to get them back to working order for our town. Now, when I did that, I talked to the owner, and he was an older lawyer, and I didn't know when he was going to retire. But recently, he's retired, and he sold the law office. And when he sold the law office, he sold the elves. So he sold them to a guy down the way who owns. I guess he sold them to a guy who owns like a bunch of buildings on the block. I'm not sure what they're going to do with them. They were supposed to display them, but I don't know. But they haven't been displayed yet. A lot of people are getting a little angry about it. My wife told me that they actually just got put out yesterday. But the worst part about it is I spent probably around $500 restoring these elves and a lot of time. And I was a little pissed off that the guy didn't give me an opportunity to buy the elves off of him when he sold the building, the lawyer. And it's kind of weird. Once I got done and restored these elves, everybody was super excited. I got tons of messages from people on Facebook. People would see me out and about and just tell me how much it meant to them that I fixed those elves. And then after that, the guy kind of ghosted me. I'd see him in public. He wouldn't even talk to me, and it was kind of weird. But I'm a little angry that I didn't get the chance to take these elves over because I had really good plans for displaying them moving forward. But it's kind of annoying. But it is what it is, man. It just goes to show you, you can do a good thing, and what's it say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So it's a bummer, but it is what it is. I hope that the new owner takes care of them. The worst part about it is I guess one of the elves had a little bit of a mechanical issue, and the guy didn't even ask me if I wanted to fix him. He took him to some dude in town who I don't think he even knows what he's doing. But so there's only 4 elves out there right now. The other one that apparently has a mechanical issues, I don't know. They said this guy who works on computers is supposed to be working on it, but that knucklehead probably doesn't know what he's doing. But anyways, I could probably make more of a bigger deal about it than I am, but it just pisses me off, and it's kind of depressing sometimes to think about it because I spend a lot of time and money on these things. I feel more bad for my mom who sewed all the outfits. She's not very happy about it, but lawyers, man, I've dealt with lawyers a lot in my life through work and through other avenues, and I have one friend who's a lawyer, and he's probably the only good lawyer I know. The rest of them are vampires and not good people. I'm sorry if you're a lawyer out there, but anyways, that's a bummer for the holidays. So yeah, not to dwell on that. So moving forward, what else is going on? So I've got some things to share with you guys today. I think you guys are going to be excited to see them. First off, that Henshin Cyborg video that I did the other day, I know I talked about how the head was cloudy in that. Well, over time, the head actually cleared up. So I think it was just all the time I'd put it in the sun and then all the other stuff I was trying to do to it. It actually cleared up. It's not cloudy anymore. It's relatively clear. It's not as yellow as it used to be. So when I finished the video, I was trying to get it done. So I didn't really have time to wait. So, and also I apologize if I came off like a jerk in that video. It's just that sometimes I get messages from people who are kind of jackasses when it comes to some of the stuff I've done. I mean, like I said, you know, I buy this stuff and I take the chance to fix it. And if I screw it up, you know, I screw it up. But everybody should have that opportunity. You know, if you want to figure out how to do something, you got to do it yourself. And I do that all the time. And this was a really cool restoration because I'd never restored one of these. And I will tell you, the biggest pain in the ass in this whole restoration was this elastic right here. That was really hard to do. And I don't know if I'll ever do another one of these, but I know one guy commented that they're pretty expensive. They are fairly expensive. You can get deals. I like to buy stuff that's kind of broken because I love to fix things. So this was a really fun one, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for all the positive comments. Let's see. Moving forward. Yeah, Rick, he probably should have gave them to me. In a perfect world, buddy, that would have been probably an awesome thing, but just the way it goes, man. So, like I said, I'm working on this photo story. It's an Arctic one. You guys have seen my pictures, and I want to show you guys a custom that I did. So I love the Magnum Power Rifle, and this is one from White Elephant Toys. But as you guys all know, the Magnum Power Rifle sucks when it comes to actually putting it in the hand of a G.I. Joe. So I took this one from White Elephant and I drilled a hole in there. And then I kind of beveled it out. And it works great for what I'm doing. I didn't mind doing that because, you know, it's not an authentic Magnum Power Rifle. So these are great. I also added this tactical sling that I made. Then I added some styrene and put some connections for the sling as well. So this is really cool to do. If you guys have ever tried this, if you want to modify your Magnum Power Rifle, it's really easy to do. Just start drilling. Just be careful. And it worked out great. So, yeah. When you guys see the photo story, you'll see how it works. So I thought that was a cool idea. And I'm glad I did that. Another thing I've been working on. Thanks, Murray. Appreciate it, buddy. Oh, handwritten notes. So I know I was gonna say that, talk about that. So anyways, Murray mentioned handwritten note. Yeah, I do. When I really want to drive a point home, I handwrite a note to people. As a matter of fact, this last Halloween, I was trying to get this guy on my live stream named Sammy Terry. And Andy's probably familiar with Sammy Terry, living in Indianapolis. But Sammy Terry is one of the coolest guys when I was growing up. He was a Friday Night Creature feature. Well, his son has taken over for him. And he's all over everywhere. He does all sorts of commercials, personal appearances, and whatnot. But I really wanted to get his son on a live stream. And I reached out to him. I sent him like 2 or 3 messages on Instagram, or I'm sorry, Facebook. No reply. So I hand wrote him a letter, and I explained to him. I wrote it all. It was like a full-page letter. I explained to him how much his dad's show meant to me as a kid. Blah 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 blah. Sent it to him. Crickets. Nothing. So then I reached out to him again, and I asked him if, hey, I sent you a letter. Blah blah blah. Crickets. So I don't know, man. Maybe he's super busy. I get it. But I would love to have him on my live stream and talk to this guy. But some people, man, I don't know. I don't know what he's going on. Maybe he's got too much going on. So I do like to handwrite letters. I wrote a handwritten letter to Hasbro 2 or 3 years ago about G.I. Joe. I did get a reply from them on that. I used to handwrite letters all the time. I've actually got comic books where I wrote into comic books. I think the Bullpen up Marvel. I got a couple comics that I wrote into, and I have the actual comics where they read my letter and put it in their bullpen. think it was called the bullpen. But yeah, that's something my mom always told me to do, write him a letter. And yep, that's what I do sometimes. So anyways, back to what I was talking about here. So Arctic stuff. I showed you guys the Magnum Power Rifle. So I know some of you guys out there who are Action Man fans are probably familiar with the Action Man. I call it a snow ski. So it's like a snowshoe ski. Sorry. So this is a snowshoe ski from their special team set. So I got this. Got two. I got a set, and it's got a broken tab here. Trying to fix it right now. So I've been working on modeling that thing here. So I got all my dimensions and whatnot, and I've been working on it on Tinkercad. Not modeling exactly, but modeling a version of it. So that's kind of what I'm kind of working on. I think I'm going to talk to Jim Egner. I'm going to try to get Jim on after the first of the year as well. And I know I got a project I'm going to have Jim do for me. We talked about it last year. It's going to be really cool. So I might send this to Jim and just have him go ahead and model one of these, and he can put it on his site. Because I think these are really cool, and I think a lot of people would like to have these. It's a really cool deal. I didn't really get a chance to talk to Greg Brown about it. I should have. But I think this is a really cool concept, and I would gladly give Jim one of these to model for his Etsy store, because he does such a fantastic job of modeling stuff. So Jim, if you actually happen to watch this, I know I reached out to you about coming on the show after the first of the year, and you said absolutely. So maybe we can talk about that as we move forward. So let's share some stuff. Those are some things I want to go over there. So let's share some stuff that I just recently got and picked up. First of all, let's jump on the comments and see who's all here. So we got Murray Corrigan jumped in. Murray, awesome. Andy and Indy. Robert Acevedo. Of course, Rick Bradshaw. Thanks, Rick, for the compliments on the display. Tim Cope. And that's about it right now. So thanks for jumping on, guys. I know it was kind of short notice, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So over Black Friday, I got on Spoonflower and bought some fabric. First fabric I bought, if you guys have not seen this, since the man's on the live stream today in the comments, Andy and Indy has made this beautiful reproduction G.I. Joe camouflage. This stuff is awesome. I can't wait to make something out of it. I know when Andy put it on there, I had it bookmarked, and it's really awesome. It's got designed by Andy and Indy, I think, right on the fabric there. So Andy, you did a great job on this. This stuff's awesome. I can't wait to make something out of that. I also bought myself a yard of that really cool Commander camouflage that I made. So my plan is to make several outfits out of this and make them available sometime this year. I know I've got some fabric from Dan DiBiase. I promised I'd do a project for him. So I talked to my mom the other day and let her know that she's not going to get the year off. I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not, but I'll share it with you again. I got a yard of this stuff. I think this is going to be a fantastic camouflage too. So we're going to do several outfits this coming year. I wanted to, I know you guys really liked some of those camouflage patterns, so I wanted to get a bunch of that and kind of make some stuff available after maybe by spring. But I got this all on Black Friday, so I got a lot of fabric, and I think we're going to have a lot of cool stuff. I got a lot of cool stuff planned for 2026. Hopefully I can realize that all. I did manage, I've wanted one of these for a while. So I got myself an Unknown Soldier figure. It's the Dreams and Visions. It's on the, I can't remember what the name of the body is. World Peacekeepers? I can't remember. So of course, you got it's based on the DC Vertigo Unknown Soldiers, not the one that we were used to as kids, but got the mask still, mint and package. I got it for $25. on eBay. I was excited when I saw it. I bought it instantly. So it's not got any problems. It's super cool. So I can't wait to do a photo story with this guy. I know Cos Becerra has done a review of this, I believe, and it's a really good review. So check it out. I wasn't going to buy one until I saw his review. So let's see. I also just got this in. I'm super excited. It's the Moderoid Testogen 28 action figure model kit. This thing is going to be super cool. I'll probably do a video making this and do a review of it. But I've wanted one of these for a while. You can find these on Amazon. They're about $30. But if you like Japanese robots, this is going to be fun. My son's a big Testogen 28 fan. He loves the Shogun Warriors version. But I wanted one of these for a while, and I've decided to pull the trigger on it. So can't wait to build this thing. Let's see. One other thing I got on eBay. This is one of my better eBay finds. So I was perusing eBay about 2 months ago, and I came across this. Complete. Nevertheless. So if you guys have seen it's got his diver's knife and scabbard, mask, flippers, dive tanks, and this figure here. So if you guys have seen my Terror on the Seafloor review video, you know that the Collector Club had a convention extra add-on, and this was the figure that year for the Terror on the Seafloor. So it was a hard head figure. It's super articulated body. It's got the gung-ho grip. It's got that cool neoprene scuba suit the Collector Club did. So I found this on eBay for $50. And when I saw it, I bought it. It was like, buy it now. I was like, absolutely bought it, because I don't see these very much. And when I do see the add-ons, like there was an add-on for the polar bear attack. That figure there, the people that have those want tons of money for them. I know that Third Sons Books has some of those, and their prices sometimes make Joe Zeta look cheap. So no offense to those guys, but I'm not paying those prices for anything. So when I found this, I was super excited. Really, really happy with this. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably just put it in my collection. I don't really have any plans to do a photo story, but I always wanted that add-on. I don't really care about the polar bear attack one, but I always wanted the extra scuba diver. The Collector Club had them on clearance towards the end of their run, and I didn't buy one for some reason because I was a jackass, but I finally got one. So good things come to those who wait. So a couple other recent acquisitions. So for my birthday was December 5th, just turned 51 years old. And my mom, for my birthday at an auction, found me this. It's a G.I. Joe Green Beret. This is how he came. It's got his original duds, his original beret. That's it. He's got a few cracks. I'm going to do a restoration video. He came with a broken M16. I'm going to 3D print a new barrel for it. And we're going to do a restoration video of this guy. And I think it's going to be really fun. So I was really excited to have this guy. I don't have an original Green Beret complete, but I'm going to complete this guy. I've got most of the parts. Hey, thanks, Murray. Thank you very much, my friend. This marks the second year in a row that on my birthday, my whole family's been sick. So it's starting to become a trend. Yeah, nice, Rick. Happy birthday, buddy. You don't look 66, Rick. You don't look 66 at all. So I got this guy, so I can't wait to restore him for you guys for a video. It'll be kind of fun. She also found this guy for me at an auction. I don't collect a lot of the old 60s Joes, but whenever I get him, I try to restore him and put him in something. So this is a really nice one. He's in nice shape as well. It's an old hardhead. This is the outfit he came in. Obviously, a big gin camo top, but I'll probably restore him and do something as well, a video to get him back in the fight. And then also she found this guy here, Sergeant Savage, which I don't really care about him too much except for the head sculpt. The head sculpt's one of my favorite head sculpts Hasbro's ever done. I think it's one of the best ones they've ever done. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this off and I'm going to actually mold and cast a repro of it. So maybe I'll do that for a video this coming year as well. So I also got some stuff from Syndico Japan. Just a few things. I found some stuff I got for my son for his Shogun Warriors, but I got this for $20 in Syndico Japan. So I found this beat up old Joe. So he's gonna need some work. And then I also got one of those old Takara Joes, and he needs some work too. He's in the Ultraman Heroes of Justice or Allies of Justice suit, but I'm gonna do a custom video on this guy. He's in rough shape. I'm gonna try to restore him back to his original glory. We shall see. But yeah, I got those guys, and they're in rough shape. So that's probably why I got them for $20. But I love the challenges of doing these guys and trying to make them into something given the condition they're in. I know Kathy from Quartermaster and I have talked about doing some a project. I've got a custom project I want her to do for me this year. So this gives me some ideas for that. So these are the things that I've kind of acquired over the last few months that I wanted to share with you guys since the last time we had a What's in the Shop. So I hope you guys enjoyed that stuff. And then on to kind of our last cool thing to share before we move on. Mr. Angelo D'Annabelle just sent me the brand new 2026 calendar. So if you guys aren't familiar, this is the second year we've done this, I think. I know it's been done in years past. I think Rick Bradshaw can almost give you the details on how it used to be a long time ago. I know this is not a new thing, but it is a new thing for me and some of the other guys. So Angelo reached out and wanted to start a calendar again and wanted us to contribute pictures. And for the second year in a row, I've been fortunate enough to be asked. So we're going to look at these real quick on this live stream. I promised Angelo I'd do something with this. So let's take a look at it. So you can see the cover here is great. This is Angelo's cool Hummer. Beautiful shot. I don't know if this is from his Golden Skull photo story, but which is a really good one, by the way. So there's that. So January this year, I think a guy we all know and love, the legendary Murray Corrigan. Great job, Murray. These pictures are fantastic. Take a look at those, guys. Beautiful. Good job, Murray. These are great. I really like all the ATVs. That's a lot of ATVs, man. And this in here is really super cool too. I like that too. Beautiful, Murray. Good job. So let's move on to February. Buddy Finity. Another legendary G.I. Joe collector. Beautiful. The big trapper looks cool. I love the medical picture. The World War II Joe's neat. What's this one here? It's a G.I. Joe. Some kind of vintage. I can't remember what set that is, but that's really nice as well. Super cool, buddy. Good job on that. And let's see. And that's cool. In February, put a tribute to Brian. Great. It's a nice gesture. I miss Brian a lot. I think about him a lot. March. Ernie hopped out there in California. So Ernie, these are great. There's Ernie's really cool vehicle he did for Golden Skull. There's the camouflage that I sent him. Great job, Ernie. That's a really cool little story. You did a great job on that, man. I can't wait to see more stuff from Ernie. I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff he's put out in 2025. Let's see. April, Michael Hinchman, another great G.I. Joe photographer. I'm a member of one of his groups, or I think the G.I. Joe Experience, I think. Mike always has amazing pictures. The one of the muscle body with the gray hairs, I remember that one. I've seen that a lot. Michael has always really, really good, crisp, beautiful pictures. Kind of like Dan DiBiase in that way. It's just, they're always just kind of pop. He was supposed to be on Paul Knapp, but I think he had technical difficulties. I'm not sure where he lives at, but great job, Hinchman. May, of course. Speaking of Dan DiBiase, Deering Studios. Dan always has great pictures. You know, Dan's been doing some intros for the Paul Knapp show. Moving forward in 2026, I know that the new team is going to be taken over. I'm not sure if they've said what the name of it's going to be. But Paul's just going to move on to Toy Soldier Tuesday. So I can't wait to see what those guys come up with, how the show changes or what it changes to. That's going to be exciting. And then we've got for June, Michael Boinski, the medic Mike. He's a great customizer and a brilliant repairman. We'll try to talk Mike into getting some of those toys of his out there and doing some photo stories in 2026. He's got a really good Facebook page. It's always fun to post on there every so often. There's always a lot of really good content on that page as well. Good job, Mike. Fantastic. That was June. July, we have the amazing Edmund De Jesus, who was on my last live stream, which was probably one of the craziest, awesome live streams I've had. Edmund is a real dude, man, and that was absolutely fantastic. Very memorable, and he's such a good guy. I love his photos. I love his story. Talk about lore. Edmund's got some lore. So he can, when Edmund goes on to the next life someday, he will have a great story he's left behind, because he is one interesting and awesome dude. And by the way, he also takes great pictures. His story for Golden Skull was really good. It was very interesting. He's got a new one, I think, coming. So I can't wait to see what he does with that. And then, of course, another amazing photographer for August, Mr. Rick Bradshaw. If you follow Rick on all the various different platforms, he always has really cool and innovative pictures, and you don't ever know what his background is for the pictures, but because he can use anything for a background and make it look absolutely real. He has so many pictures that are super cool. Rick, I love the Lobster Johnson one. I love the Army Men one. All the Army Men pictures he takes are really, really cool as well. Great job, Rick. Such amazing photography and artists out there in this hobby. And then we've got another amazing customizer who's been doing some wild stuff lately with the 3D printing, is Andrew Hasera. Beautiful job, Andy. There's Andy's fabric in his homemade G.I. Joe Adventure Team outfit that he did for a convention. Andy does the great heads. Now, if you guys noticed, I did put Paul Knapp in my Crosshairs storyline. As a head Andy sent to me, I finally got around to, that was September's Andy. I got around to painting it. And I wanted to do something funny with it. So I I put it in there for Paul to be killed in my photo story. I kind of moving forward, I kind of want to put Paul in different photo stories, and he can be like Kenny and from South Park, where he gets he gets killed in every one of them. Maybe I'll do that. October is yours truly. These are all shots from Jungle of Death, which is that photo story I did Halloween 2 years ago. One of my favorite photo stories to do. I enjoyed everything about that photo story. I love the way it turned out. So I don't know if I can ever top the creepiness of this photo story, but that was October for Halloween. That's the month Angelo asked, and I said I will take October if it's open, and he said it is. So Daryl Haddock, these are again great pictures. I really like this one right here. This is a cool one. I don't know what head sculpt that is. If you guys know, that's a really cool head sculpt. Great pictures. Fantastic. That is November. And then the last month, of course, Angelo D'Annibale. These are great shots. Angelo goes out into nature like myself and some of the other guys and always takes amazing pictures. Check those babies out. Fantastic. It's always nice Angelo does this. Thank you, Angelo. If you watch this, thank you for doing this again. This is always a fun project. And here's the back of the calendar. It's a great thing to be part of. I wish there was more months in the year because I know there's a lot of other people out there that do great photography that would definitely warrant being in these. And I know it's a hard choice for Angelo every year to come up with 12 people to be in that. So that was really fun to do. Hopefully I can create some more photos and do it next year. So super, super cool stuff. So let's see. We've covered almost everything I wanted to cover. Let's see. Some news stuff I wanted to talk about real quick. So if you guys, this is probably going to interest Rick Bradshaw more than anybody else. But I don't know if you guys, Rick, if you paid attention to Big Bad Toy Store lately. So they put this little teaser out probably 2 or 3 weeks ago on their site or on their, I think it was their Instagram page. The undiscovered dangers of this world never cease to test adventurers like us. When we all saw this, I know Ed Kozak. What's up, Dan? Thanks for joining, man. So I know Ed Kozak emailed me or messaged me on Instagram. He's like, did you see this? I'm like, absolutely. It looked really, really cool. Then they dropped this banger. Agents of Omega. So I'm guessing that Big Bad Toy Story is going to partner with the same guys that make Operation Monster Force. Their name escapes me right now. It's Fresh Monkey Fiction, I believe. And they're going to do, I think, a line of adventure figures, similar to the Adventure Team knockoff figures, because Hasbro's not doing it. I actually messaged Tony, one of the guys who's on the classified team, and I said, check this out. You guys better get your shit in order and get some Adventure Team classified out there because people are beating you to the punch. So I think this is going to be great. I can't wait to see what's going on moving forward. If this is really cool, I might have to dip my toes into the 1/12th scale. So I'm really excited to see what they come up with this. This is going to be really, really cool. So it's going to be neat. So keep an eye out for that. I know Rick Bradshaw is probably going to buy every one of them, but it's going to be cool. Agents of Omega. So I guess Adventures making a comeback. So maybe they've been watching all of our stuff. Who knows? But I think that's pretty cool. So keep on the lookout for Big Bad Toy Store with that. Also, if you guys are fans of Hot Toys, and I like Hot Toys, I've sold all my Hot Toys figures, except for my Mandalorian figure. But I saw these the other day. I thought these were super cool. So they're doing a Spider-Man 77 figure. Fantastic. I bought the Marvel Legends figure. You guys saw that. I think I did a review of it. It's a really cool figure. My son loves that figure for some reason. He's got a lot of cool Spider-Man figures, but he really likes that one. And they're also doing Spider-Man Toei, Japanese Spider-Man. Now, I might have to get this. I don't know how much it is, what it's going to retail for, but God, I love Japanese Spider-Man. It's so cool. When I saw these, I was going through all the images. I'm like, this is the coolest shit I've seen in a while. So be on the lookout for those if you guys are Hot Toys fans. I like I said, I have one Hot Toys figure, but I would love to probably have a Japanese Spider-Man. I hope that Bandai does the robot, the Leopardon or the Marveler that is the Shogun Warrior version. I hope they do a reproduction of that because I will definitely buy it. If you've not seen that, look it up. It's a cool robot. So absolutely neat that they're coming up with that stuff. I'm glad it's making a comeback. So there you go, guys. That's about everything I've got to share with you guys, except for one thing. And as we do on hopefully all of my live streams moving forward, we've done 2 of these so far. It's time to do a top 5. So these, since it's Christmas, we're going to go over the top 5 toy lines of my childhood. This is a hard thing because there were so many cool toy lines in the late 70s and early 80s. And I had to really sit and think, like, what toy lines influenced me the most? What did I have the most of? That kind of played a huge role in it, like what I had the most of. I'm gonna share with you what I had. So you guys can obviously make your own list out, and let me know in the comments what you think. But here we go. See, Dan said he was doing has the Patriots. Okay, nice, buddy. I saw the Patriots were winning. They're beating the Bills. So, yeah. All right. So let's go with it. Top 5 toy lines from my childhood. Number 5. So the Saga of Crystar, the Crystal Warrior. If you guys don't remember that, it was actually a line produced by Remco and launched in 1982. It featured crystal-themed heroes versus the lava-based villains. It was really unique in the fact it was designed with translucent and opaque plastic to reflect the character's nature. I think Micronauts might have been the last toy line before that to really have some like clear plastic parts and pieces. The toys were released before the Marvel Comics adaptation in 1983, which was a reversal of the usual process where toys are based on existing media. It included 7 figures and several beasts and playsets. It did not become a very successful toy line, even though I had a ton of it. It had a TV series that never really made it to air, and the company would end up filing bankruptcy in the mid-1980s, kind of like Mego. But this was actually a line developed by Marvel Comics. So the comic came, but they launched the action figure franchise first. Marvel still has this, obviously. I'm not sure what universe Marvel is going to put this in, if they're going to put it in the Micronauts universe or whatnot. But I have the 2 Marvel Legends figures so far they've released, Crystar and Warbow. But I had almost every figure in this toy line. I remember when I first saw it at Kmart, I thought it was one of the coolest things I'd seen. I was super into Sword and Sorcery, and I ended up getting this figure as well as the later figures. I don't think I had the Fortress. They had like a crystal fortress, but I had the dragons. I think he rode a couple dragons. I had the evil wizards, the lava men, all that stuff. I used to play Crystar all the time. I just love the color and look of that figure. It was really, really cool looking. And the Marvel Legends figures were great. I was just shocked they even did it. But Saga of Crystar was awesome. Like I said, the reason this made top 5 is because I had a lot of it. And it's something I played with a lot. Like I played with this up until probably a year or 2 before my mom put it in a garage sale, which is such bullshit. I mean, I love this toy line. She put it in a garage sale. So it was cool. It was one of my favorite toy lines of the day. So Number 4, this was another toy line that I had a lot of. LJN Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. The line was released in 83 and 84 because they got a license agreement with TSR, which was a huge game. We all know what Dungeons and Dragons is. It was inspired by a lot of the fantasy art of the line. Coincidentally, I don't know if all the characters are in Dungeons and Dragons. I know some of them were. I don't know if any of them, maybe a few of them were actually in the cartoon. But this was a really cool independent line. It was a 4-inch scale of figures, heroes and villains. It had larger scale figures like dragons and horses and whatnot. They had like some battlematic action. So they had levers that would activate like sword swinging. And there was a guy that had like a morning star. You could hit people with that. They were actually very popular, but they did not become a long-lasting success due to the kind of the weird marketing. You didn't really see them in a lot of places. I saw most of them at KB Toy Store. They also had a line of non-posable statuesque type figures that were the same scale you could buy. Some had wire armatures inside. The guy Paul Knapp had on recently, gosh, I can't remember the name of his channel off the top of my head, but I was on the show and he had a bunch of this stuff. I think he had almost all the figures. I had almost everything except for the Fortress of Fangs. I did not have the Fortress of Fangs, which is the castle there you see. I had a buddy who had it and it was super fun to play with. I did not have that playset. I would love to have it, but unfortunately I don't collect that stuff. I gave most of these to my nephews, who are 10 years, one's 10 years younger than me. And I just recently was over at my sister's over the summer and got my Melf, the little elf Bowman back. So I played with these things till they fell apart. They were a great toy line. I remember going to KB toy stores and you could get Paladin, Strongheart, the Paladin with his horse, and then you had Warduke and his horse. I had both of those and I just loved playing with these. I probably played with this as much as I did with He-Man. So I really loved Advanced Dungeons and Dragons figures. Just a cool line. And NECA Toys has redone a few of them. I think they've done Warduke, Strongheart. They've done the Dwarf and the Goblin Assassin. So I wish they'd do some more because I think they're really cool figures. I've done reviews of all of them. Loved them. So yeah, I loved LG and Dungeons and Dragons. This was one of my favorite toy lines of the 1980s. And I had a ton of these figures. So LG and Wrestling Superstars, a successful line of 8-inch solid rubber action figures produced from 84 to 89 before Hasbro took the license over and made those goofy ass, stupid little figures I never liked. They had all different types of figures and different poses. And I know a lot of people like to make fun of these because they're so heavy and you could like beat somebody to death with them. But these figures were indestructible. The only bad part about these figures was the paint wearing off. But we had me and my two best buddies, the kids who lived across the street from me, between the two of us had almost all of these. We had the wrestling ring and the steel cage. We had the referee. We had the ring announcers. We had all these guys. And what we would do is we would watch wrestling together. And during the summer, when we get out for school, we get up every morning, eat breakfast. And then one of us, we'd either go to their back porch or my front porch. We'd set all our wrestlers up. And we had this game. We'd take dice and we'd write down 12 moves. And I think it was 12. Yeah, I think it was 12. I think it's something like that. It's hard for me to remember now. I wish I had one of those guys with me. You write down a bunch of moves and you'd roll the dice. Whatever the number that you roll would coincide with the move that you do. I think Snake Eyes would be an automatic pin. Like 6 would be pile driver. It wouldn't matter, but we just keep doing that over and over again. We'd have our wrestlers and we'd do the announcing. We'd call them out. We had food coloring for blood matches, and we had such a good time with these figures. And I ended up giving these to my cousin. after I was done with them, and he loved wrestling too. But these were some of my favorite wrestlers. And these type of wrestlers, these rubber body wrestlers are making a huge comeback. I know there's some really good indie toy makers that are doing really cool versions of these, and I know they've actually re-released the Hulk Hogan wrestling superstar as a Target exclusive. So I always love these. I never really, like I said, I never really liked the Hasbro ones. I know some people really like those figures. I didn't like them. I love these because you could have so much fun with these, and they were so indestructible. So loved wrestling superstars. Again, I had a ton of these, and I played with these all the time. Of course, next up, Masters of the Universe. It's probably either 1A, 1B, my favorite toy line of all time, behind G.I. Joe. I had a ton of He-Man. He-Man first came out, in 1982. It was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. It was about the same time Conan the Barbarian movie was out, and I was becoming a big sword and sorcery fan. Movies like Beastmaster were out there, and I remember seeing this the first time at the toy store, thinking this was cool. And those first comics that you would get with the first action figures were so dark and fantasy driven, before that stupid cartoon that they had, which kind of ruined the whole toy line for me. But the first couple years, I had a ton of He-Man stuff. Castle Grayskull was one of my favorite, if not my favorite play set of all the time. And they had so many cool vehicles and accessories with that toy line. And I just absolutely had so much fun playing He-Man. When I was a kid, I have a brother who's 5 years older than me, and he's the closest in age to me. And I didn't really have anybody to play with when I was a kid, so I played by myself a lot. And I would set up Snake Mountain in my mom and dad's basement, and then I'd set Castle Grayskull up in the upstairs of our house, and I would just have battles throughout the whole house with all these figures when I was a kid. And I had such a great time with He-Man, and it was one of my favorite toys. My He-Man went a lot of places with me as a kid on trips. Just every time I'd go somewhere, I'd probably either take a He-Man or a G.I. Joe or one of my brother's Micronauts. But it was a super great toy line, man. And it's made a little bit of a comeback. I don't really like the new superposable ones that much. I do like the Origins line, which I've bought a lot of those for my son. But original He-Man, that original Castle Grayskull, what an iconic toy. Just such a dope toy. And then, of course, last but not least, G.I. Joe Real American Hero. I know a lot of guys in our groups weren't really big fans of the little figures because they had kind of aged out of it at the time, and you guys all grew up with 12-inch G.I. Joe. I was one of those guys who had both. Had older brothers who had the 12-inch G.I. Joes, and when Real American Hero came out, that first 82 line was really, really cool. It was a neat transition from the earlier G.I. Joes to a smaller scale to compete with Star Wars, and man, it took off. It was really fun. I still love the original team from 82. It was great. The cartoon was pretty cool when it first started. I didn't mind it, but it was still kind of weak, like the Masters of the Universe cartoon. I read the Marvel comic more than anything. But I've talked about this on a lot of live streams. But the coolest thing about those 82 figures when they first came out was they were kind of a callback to the earlier iterations of G.I. Joe, and the fact that you had a bearded figure, and you had the same figure that had the beard without a beard, and then you had a brand new head sculpt for the figure like Grunt and Zap. And it was kind of a real simple cookie cutter, used the same head, different hair color for the figures. I really appreciated that. Moving forward down the line, I collected G.I. Joe and played with G.I. Joe for several years after 82, but it kind of got goofier and goofier as time went on. And I know a lot of guys who are a little younger than me like a lot of the goofy stuff. The vehicles got cheaper. It just, that 82, 83 is such a sweet spot for me as far as G.I. Joe. I loved it. I played with it all the time, read the comics, had a lot of the figures, almost all the figures those first 2 years. And they had some really cool, iconic sets. And unfortunately, as time passes, it got kind of weaker, even though they came out with some great sets after that. I mean, the Defiant Space Shuttle, obviously the USS Flag, they had some great play sets, but such a cool toy line. And it's one that huge impact on my life. You know, I still see G.I. Joe American Hero, and I think I remember a lot of good times in my backyard and playing with all my friends who had G.I. Joe, and it was always a fun toy to play with, man. I'm not a big classified guy, but I do appreciate the G.I. Joe classified figures they're making that are in the old 82 original team style. Snake Eyes was a cool figure, the original Commando one. But, man, I absolutely loved G.I. Joe Real American Hero. So I'd say it and He-Man probably I had the most of as a kid. So I played with both of those probably more than anything. I had a lot of different toys, though, but it was hard to come up with 5 that really influenced me so much. I kind of just looked at what I think I had the most of. I'm sure there's a little bit of a Mandela effect there with all that. But yeah, man, that was my top 5 toy lines. So Merry Christmas. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I can't wait to see, get on the Axis of Awesome Facebook page and post what your top 5 toy lines were. I'd love to hear what everybody's top 5 toy lines as a kid were. You guys are out there. If you're not a member of the Axis of Awesome Facebook page and you have Facebook, definitely join up. And there's a lot of good content on there. There's a lot of good content on other pages as well. The Action Figure Playhouse is really good. Medic Mike has a really good Facebook page as well. And I know a lot of those guys have moved over to Instagram and are starting to post things there. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there, guys. There's so much to do, and there's so many cool sites to follow. Some that I've been following here lately on YouTube. Esoteric Guardian. It's a really cool YouTube page. I enjoy it. Watch it in bed with my wife every night before we go to sleep. It's kind of creepy, but it's also really neat. I find it all fascinating. Gnostic stuff's really cool to me. There's 2 documentaries out I'd like to watch. Age of Disclosure, which is about UFOs, and American Sasquatch. I heard both of those are pretty good. You got to pay for both of them. I will probably watch Age of Disclosure because I've listened to a couple podcasts on it, and I find that fascinating. There's also a really good podcast called American Alchemy, which is really good with Jesse Michaels. I've really been listening to it lately, and I think it's a really cool podcast. And that's about it, guys. There's a lot of positive stuff out there to listen to, and amongst this all the negative shit going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. Like I said, moving forward, we're going to try to have some guests after the first of the year, and I think it's going to be super fun. Hey, West Coast Bigfoot, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. We're about done, but I'm glad you could stop in and say hi. Rick Bradshaw says 1/12 rocks. You do love it, Rick. I love it too. It's cool. Like, I just don't buy much of it. Tim Copes playing D&D at the time, painting minis. Yep, that was always fun to do. I did. Hey, it's Sean Huckster just dropped in. What's up, buddy? Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out there as we move into the holidays. I'm enjoying a lot of good content right now, trying to find just cool things to watch. Target holiday shopping sounds fun. But yeah, moving forward, we're going to try to have some cool live streams after the first of the year. I'll try to get all that settled. I got to get all my personal affairs in order here, get Christmas out of the way, and then we can kind of start talking about 2026 and Hunters of the Unknown. And I'm super excited. I think 2026 is going to be a fun year. I've got a lot of stuff planned, so a lot more photo stories, hopefully. So it's going to try to get a lot of these projects I've had on the back burner kind of wrapped up and going. So that is what's going on with me, guys. I hope you guys are doing great out there, staying warm, staying safe for the holidays. Like I said, get on Facebook page, Axis of Awesome, and put your top 5 toy lines. I'd love to know what you guys' stuff is. The next live stream I do, I'll put out a bolo on my Facebook page and tell you what my next top 5 is going to be so we can kind of interact a little more as we move forward. So, guys, that kind of wraps up this looking here, that kind of wraps up this live stream. I really appreciate everybody. Sean's in here. Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out. Mr. Beast Live. I've seen that. I try to watch stuff at night. It's hard. I get sleepy. So anyways, guys, this is about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe to the page, hit that notification icon. And if I don't see you guys before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas and stay safe. And in the meantime, guys, keep living the adventure and cheers.